LOLC.
So for context, I put my hand up to the camera instead of pressing record, hence why Travis was amazed. Yeah, right, lads, lasses, and welcome back to Flats and Tracks, and welcome back to episode dose number 2 of the ENQUIRIES. It's your boy Brad, and it's the OGs. It's Brad and Trav, and today in the ENQUIRIES, that's right, we're getting to know numero dos.
Ah, yeah.
Big Bird, Sesame.
Big version.
Okie doke, so I just want to get this out of the way first of all. So of course, the hiatus / rebrand. So for those that don't know, initially we were called GAA, Global Amusement Attractions. Well, actually, initially it was Theme Park Thrills, and then it was GAA, Global Amusement Attractions. And now, henceforth, going forward into the future, we are Flats and Tracks, the abbreviation of FAT. Because chunky boys.
Less chunky, to be fair, in more recent months. But anyway, still a fat bastard.
Valid. Back in 2021, unintentionally, we took a break for about... Well, not a break, because we were still uploading content here and there. It just wasn't the regular stuff. So initially joining GAA back in 20...
Oh, it was ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
well, I remember doing the first kind of vlogs for Theme Park Thrills, like when we went to Pleasure Beach.
Oh, yeah.
When was that, like 2013 or something? 2014?
Yeah, around about that time, I think. We took a break unintentionally from theme park stuff. He's had a university, I've had wrestling, he's also had wrestling. We've both had jobs and stuff. I've had injuries and what have you. I wanted to give this guy his props for the rebrand, if you will, of GAA and doing his magic with the new logos and everything. Thoughts and stuff of FAT going forward?
Overall, it's going to look more professional. Not that it wasn't before, but like every sort of theme park YouTube channel kind of has the same look, and we were doing a lot of the same things, like
try to fit the mould
and stuff. And I think we stand out a bit more now. We don't necessarily look like a YouTube theme park channel. I think we've looked more like a brand now, and I think it's like something that, I'm not saying this would be the case, but like if we had merchandise or anything that came out, it wouldn't just be like, oh, that's a theme park YouTube channel merchandise. Like, it'd be like something you could actually walk around and people wouldn't necessarily go, Flats and Tracks, oh, that's a theme park thing. It looks more slimline. I don't know, the word is professional, I guess. It'll probably bring the biggest growth that we've had for the channel. Streamlined is the word I'm trying to use. And, you know, all the thumbnails and stuff, it's been really fun to try and figure out identity there.
Again, all his work.
You know, they've all got the same theme, but they're all a little bit different, so you can distinguish which is which, etc. And yeah, I think it'll do us wonders, to be fair.
Fat boys for the future. What is your earliest theme park memory?
I mean, you already know this, but I mean, you'll probably know most of whatever the questions are. I haven't actually seen the questions, to be honest. I told Brad to prepare them in advance. My earliest theme park memories is that every year from about 2006 to 2016, as far as I can remember, it might have been even earlier than that, we used to go to Flamingo Land every year just for our holidays. That's kind of what we did. Instead of going abroad or whatever it was, we'd go there. That was the birth of one of my childhood traumas in Little Monsters Den of Mischief.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
When I got dragged on the ride when I didn't want to go on because I was like 6 at the time, and I thought it looked I meant to say, yeah, I meant to say, I was trying to say scary and creepy at the same time, then screepy. The only ride really I've not been there for annually, that's the word, annually for, is the new one, Sick, which I hate that name.
The fact that we're gonna go next year, spoilers, and we're gonna have to go on that, and we're actually gonna have to say the words. Alright guys, the next ride of the day, Sick.
If we don't go to Flamingo Land though, don't quote us on that.
Childhood wise, because of course I did this with Fraser where we went back and because I don't just want this to be like, oh, theme parks, oh, entertainment, oh, yeah. I want it to be like a full-on experience and getting to know someone, not just like the enthusiast side of them. Describe your upbringing and how you've become the man you are today.
So you want me to say this without the dark stuff?
I mean, if you want to,
that's going to be a bit hard.
No, if you want to, of course, I'll talk about that. Go ahead.
I'll give a brief rundown because, to be honest, it's going to sound a bit morbid or a bit deep or whatever. Yeah. And I like to keep it cheery, really, and kind of live my life being as positive as possible. I don't really remember a lot of my childhood, to be honest, because I've kind of blocked it out because of trauma, because my mum passed away, unfortunately, from cancer in 2010. So there's a lot of stuff that probably did happen that I don't really remember, and a lot of it is just family recollection. The stuff I do remember is like obviously Flamingo Land and stuff like that, because that was kind of like my happy place, which I used to look forward to every year, so that's where all my memories are. I mean, my life's always kind of been back and forth. Like, my mum and my dad weren't really together. Well, they were, but obviously, like, through most of my life, it was separate. So I go see my dad on the weekend. Obviously, when I go to school, my mum lived closer to my school, so I lived with my mum, all of that. Obviously, then when my mum passed away, my sister took over and looked after me and got me through school and stuff. Went to London for a bit and did a lot of fun stuff there. Like, I went to Fort Park twice. One of them, Bradley came with me on one of the trips with Anthony as well. Shout out Anthony, actually.
Miss you, man. I doubt you'll watch him, but
yeah,
big love.
It was quite prominent on some of the classic GAA vlogs, actually. Came back from London, but when I came back from London, about a month later, they announced the first ever lockdown.
We don't talk about them years.
After that, I was kind of like, well, the day before, I got an email from someone for a job interview. So I was going to go and get a new job. The day after, they announced a lockdown and were like, well, you can't do that job interview now because we're in lockdown, so you can't go for it. So I was like, oh, that's great. Unemployed. What am I going to do with my life? I love making videos. I love writing about media. I love podcasting. I love it all. I love editing. I love everything. I love YouTube. I love everything. So I was like, okay. Well, a lot of people were kind of egging me on and saw a bit of a prospect in me to go to uni in sixth form. And I always kind of went, no, I want to do this London thing. So I thought, off a whim, I will just apply and do the UCAS application for a university. I then end up getting accepted to Huddersfield University, and in the September of 2020, I started uni.
What other unis did you apply for? I don't remember. I think I only remember Huddersfield, but did you apply for?
Huddersfield, Manchester Met, which I wouldn't recommend, it's a shithole. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say stuff like that, but... And then Leeds Beckett was one, and Nottingham Trent. Kind of it, really. Then I've done my 3 years at uni, started the wrestling thing with the Wrestling Society, which got me and Brad involved in it. Did the whole uni thing, graduated, and now I've just kind of been working, really. Part-time to full-time, really, so it's kind of... It's harder to do videos, but it has mean I've been able to fund things to be able to do for this, which is why I felt like it was appropriate for me personally to come back to be able to do videos for this page and for this audience when it was appropriate, like, time in my life where I can afford to do stuff like being able to do the voucher mystery holiday review and trip to Sweden, or like going to Malta, or like obviously building up and saving up for and paying the deposit for the Salou trip. So for me it was more about being financially stable and being able to actually do content a lot of the time, because this is a bit more of a behind the scenes thing really, but me and Brad sometimes, Brad will say, let's do this kind of video, and I'm like,
no.
Why would we do that when we can do a video where we can save up for a couple of weeks and go to, I don't know, Alton Towers or Fort Park or, you know, theme parks.
Yeah.
Like, I know I recorded bits like in my daily vlog when I went to Sweden, obviously, and when we went to Malta and stuff, but I feel like doing that's a bit hard because then you've got to read every plaque for everything so everyone understands what that thing is. Whereas you can only give a brief explanation unless you want the vlog to be like 5 hours long, which...
Do you want 5-hour vlogs, guys?
Average Brad vlog.
Rude. Who's the one rambling here, mate? You, not me. Throughout your years at university, you would join something called a society. I'm not quite sure. I've got history with the society, but that's completely different. Don't talk about that one. Whilst you were at university, you joined these said societies, these groups and stuff, and you had a niche, if you will, for the world of musical theatre. Talk us through your... I mean, this is the two questions, but we can just do it in one.
Yeah.
For your question 4, love of performing, and question 5, musical theatre.
To be honest, I won't lie. At first, performing was kind of something that I wanted to do because it meant that in school I could do something that was a bit less academic, a lot less writing, a lot less researching, a lot less written exams because I weren't as good in them. So at first it was kind of like, oh, well, you know, we can perform, we can dick about, and maybe we might have to do an exam every now and again. But I actually didn't mind it a little bit. Like, I did it for my GCSEs and I didn't mind it, but A-levels, it was a lot more written work and a lot more research and a lot more going to shows and making notes and analysing them rather than just enjoying the shows. Musicals is a bit different because I watched Hairspray once, the movie Hairspray, not the actual theatre show, and I was like, I actually really like that as a film. Little did I know that, like, for years and years, Hairspray would be my favourite musical. Until I watched a bootleg of the theatre show. Don't bootleg and don't pirate, but if you must, do it. I don't endorse it. But
don't do it, but do it, but don't do it.
And then I realised it weren't really that... It's an alright show. It is good, but I feel like, I don't know, I kind of went off it a bit. Yeah, so sixth form in drama, I didn't really enjoy it. And then I almost actually chose to do drama at university. That was one of my options. But I kind of thought to myself, like, and this is not a knock on anybody at all that does drama. I've got loads of friends from drama course at uni and stuff like that. But for me personally, I was thinking, what's going to be the better course to get transitional skills that I can use in different places? And, like, what's going to give me a bigger, wider range of skills and abilities? And ultimately it was like, well, drama, the only skill I'm really learning is writing about drama or acting drama. Whereas not musical theatre, media, I was like, well, I can write in different ways, I can present, I can edit, I can film, I can record podcasts, I can do a live radio show. And it gave me a lot more different span, which I have then took from that course. And as much as it might not show on the videos sometimes, I have used a lot of that knowledge to upgrade the content either on my personal channel or on Flats and Tracks. And for anyone that's curious, because I guess this would get mentioned in the comments, or I can't talk about musicals and not bring them up. My favourite ones, Hairspray still has a little place in my heart, so it was my first ever favourite, but I really like Beetlejuice and I really like Book of Mormon, because I've got a dark sense of humour, and the music is actually quite good in them as well. Beetlejuice made up for the film, which everyone raves about, but is actually dog awful. I wanted to say dog but well, I've said it now, so dog shit. Genuine sidetrack though, Beetlejuice is actually better than the first one.
Really?
You could cancel me for that if you want, but I believe it.
As previously mentioned, wrestling. We do the wrestles, we did the wrestles, we will eventually be doing the wrestles again. But of course, myself being a wrestling fan from being a little boy, and then meeting this one, and then bringing him along for the wrestling journey. Being a wrestling fan, and also being a wrestler, if you will. I don't know, talk us through that. We all know the typical thing that people are going to say, you know it's fake, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
So I genuinely have to wholeheartedly thank Brad for getting me into wrestling, because if it wasn't for Brad getting me into wrestling, I'd have probably never even been involved in it in the first place. And it is kind of one of them things where I owe Brad a lot, because it has helped me put me on the track of where I am now in terms of the people I engage with, the stuff that I engage with, and it really gave me an escapism in a time where reality was really shit. Like, it was during the time where I met Brad just before my mum passed away. Like, it were only a couple of months before, and it gave me a chance to be like, oh, I'm feeling crap, but there's these superheroes on camera doing these mad moves and stunts and stuff, which then me and Bradley try to replicate, even though they tell you not to. Which then led to being actually trained professionally and doing it in an actual ring, which was a culmination of like a 10+ year journey, which was amazing with me and Brad. It didn't end the way it should have, but hopefully that might get rectified in the future at some point. But yeah, led to a big group of us making a society, which we now all still, even though I'm 2 years out of uni, still go there and talk with each other, watch uni, plan wrestling shows together. We've really found a niche within the university, but also it's just a big family, really, at WAS, which is what it's called, Wrestling Appreciation Society of Huddersfield. When it comes to doing the big charity shows at the end of the year, we all still feel like a unit, and no matter what issues we've got, or what upsets, or what downfalls we've had through the year, and disappointments and stuff like that, and letdowns, we ultimately feel united in that moment when the show's done, and we have our big traditional big group circle hug in the middle of the ring to culminate that we've done this good job and everything else. Getting Bradley involved in there as well was one thing I was really happy and proud of, to have a moment between me and Brad as well, because again, it was something 10 years in the making, and honestly, without wrestling, I don't actually know what my life would be, because I didn't like football. The biggest hobby I guess I had early in life was Doctor Who, Primeval, or video games, and that were it.
So of course, with what we do and what we've been doing for the past near decade now, which is mad, YouTube, content creating, what are your likes and dislikes, and do you know, you've mentioned, of course, your love for it, so I don't need to ask you that. What drives you and what really fuels you to want to do and enjoy and make content?
I'll do one dislike first to start off, because there's not many dislikes I have doing it. The only dislike I have personally is that at the minute, I don't have a lot of time to create content. This is why, like, not even in like I want to get big so I get paid and all this, but I genuinely like making content. and it's very therapeutic for me, and I love having different ideas. I love taking things new that I've learned from either watching someone's video and replicating the style of it, which is kind of like what I did in the Malta vlog, actually. It was based on another vlog I'd watched with the transitioning of days and stuff. Whether it's different editing styles, different ways to present the vlog, etc, etc. I love doing all of that and using all the different skills I've picked up and using them. But I just don't get the time to do it. If I was bigger and it was my job to do YouTube or whatever, this sounds a bit beggy, I'm not trying to be beggy, but I would genuinely love my job doing content, because I have tried for so many years to do it. Since like 2012, 2013, I started doing YouTube, whether it's privately on my own account or it's here. But another dislike I don't like, and this is more to do with just media in general, right? Especially on TikTok. Why the are people still doing those TikTok videos where it's like, come back for part 2 to see the result? When you can upload like hour-long videos on TikTok, just put it all in one part. Like Reddit stories, don't just put, oh, and then she was about to get in bed with her cousin. Come back for part 2. Because we know what's happening in part 2, especially if it's in America, right? But do not make it 2 separate videos and then never even upload the second part. Just put it all on one video. I swear to God, it's so annoying. I don't know why the cousin thing was an example, to be honest. That makes me look like a right weirdo. I mean, I've kind of said it in my negative, really. I just like taking loads of different aspects, whether it's tiny or whether it's big, of stuff that I have learned.
Cousin.
I don't even know whether to just re-record that bit or leave that in, because people are now going to think, what the fuck do I watch on TikTok?
Yeah.
Nothing about cousins, I can assure you that. So really, like I've said with the first half of the dislike thing, I just like bringing everything that I've learned or I've not used in a video before and put it in a video. That's why kind of the content that I make on my main channel at the minute allows me to do that a bit more, because I'm not on camera, so I can use like different editing tricks and different styles and looks of videos, because when you're on camera you can't always implement that. Whereas if you're not on camera and you are just basing it off videos and B-roll footage and pictures, you can make your videos look differently and style them differently every time and introduce different things. And it's the one thing I've really got a lot of knowledge on. I just love content creating. It's always been probably my biggest hobby besides wrestling, and it's something that I don't see myself ever stopping doing unless I really don't have any time anymore in the future. But, you know, why do nothing when you've got free time, when you could do something to advance yourself? And for me, a lot of the time, that is trying different editing methods or different graphics or different ways of creating content. So yeah.
So to add on to that, actually, just real quick, who would you say is your biggest inspiration / content creator?
Inspirations and like favourite content creators is doing a YouTube video you can eat when you want to eat.
I'm so confused because you look down at your
belly.
Yeah, your belly. Yeah, it's definitely what you were looking at from where I was.
Oh right.
Favourite content creator.
Inspiration and content creation wise, they've always been comedy wise Joe Weller, because I grew up when he was getting really big.
Hey,
Washing machine, cheese grating collection,
kitchen sink,
kitchen sink, Buxton water, all the rest of it. But now, like my favourite content creator ever, and I didn't even know him, and I only started watching his videos because I was going to meet him at Summer in the City in 2018, was Jack Mate. But then I actually really liked his videos, so when I met him, it was sick. And then...
No, that's at Flamingo Land.
Oh. From then I started listening to his podcast, which is like now in my daily routine. I then had the privilege to go and see the Happy Hour podcast live at the first tour, the Round Sheep tour. Was fantastic. Another good creator actually at the minute as well that I really like. You stop pointing to yourself.
Oh, you noticed that?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a
Twitch, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so don't worry. This is a Flats and Tracks video, and this is theme park / attraction park content. So with that, the last bit of this video will be about that. So, with all that being said and done, we're going to get onto that. So, to end off, we're going to get to the theme park and attraction side of things.
What? This is a theme park channel?
Apparently so. You've just been blabbing about random bollocks for the past 50 minutes. Who and what are your dislikes within the community?
Oh, God.
You don't have to name drop people.
No, I'm not going to name drop people, but I think there's one that I can't really say on YouTube, if I'm honest.
We can bleep it, don't worry.
Right. This community seems to have a really bad problem with... Can you please beat that last word out?
Yeah.
I think people will get the gist, but for some reason, this community is really full of weird, strange people that are into stuff they shouldn't be into.
Yeah.
And that's all I will discuss on that topic.
That's the obvious.
And as someone that has openly said this from the very beginning, it probably makes sense why a lot of people don't necessarily reach out to me and reach out to Brad. And I'm not... That sounds weird when I've said that, but it's because, like...
We're not all that personable, if you will. We're not one of these people that are like, come on in, join us. We're friends with everyone. We're going to, like...
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. If you see us and you know us and you see us vlogging and whatever, we're going to be like, oh, hey, hi, how are you? Thanks for watching, yada, yada. But we're not going to be like, oh, yeah, add us on this, add us on that. Keep following us around the parks and, like, do this and
literally,
do that.
like, we pick and choose very carefully who we associate with and who is on the channel, because...
a very tight-knit little group of us.
There's been a lot of cases of people in the community that haven't done back checks on people and haven't checked people's histories and don't know what they're up to when the cameras are on. And because of that, they've backfired. They've lost people to help them out on videos, whether it's creating content or help editing videos or promote videos or be in the videos. And ultimately, that is their fault. And a lot of people do not speak about that openly within this community. But as someone that will openly do it...
As someone that openly has and got shit for it and tried getting cancelled for it...
It's one of them things like...
It's ridiculous.
It's the truth.
Side tangent, just to get this bit out, but the fact, to add on to the bit, I guess, yes, bleeped. But the fact that a well-known big YouTube theme park community channel has never acknowledged the alleged people and situations of their former people on said channel, again, not naming names, but you can kind of guess who, never acknowledged, and that's the problem, what Travis has just said. Zero acknowledgement, just move on like nothing was done or said. And when someone like us mentions it and does videos and mentions about how we need to stop this shit from happening and be protective of these people, not these people, sorry, be protective of certain people, sorry. But now, in all seriousness, it's a real problem, like Trav said, in this community where there's a big issue and really weird, creepy, you know, me and you have always had a really good vibe for people who just don't
give us the ick.
Feel right.
So we say, give us the ick.
And don't get me wrong, unfortunately, one or two of those people have been on previous iterations of this channel, but guess what we did? We addressed it, out the door straight away.
We have done videos, or we've been to parts sometimes where these certain people have been there and we've been buzzing that we've got to meet them, we've had pictures with them, we've done this, we've done that. But as soon as things come out that aren't tasteful about them, we don't engage with the content anymore, we don't watch the videos, we don't give them the time of day, we don't follow them on social media, we don't bring them up, and we haven't brought anyone up here. We've just brought the subject matter up.
It's not our fault if you can kind of gather who and what we're talking about. But if you can gather who and what we're talking about,
Like, at the end of the day, we are content creators, but we don't get paid for doing YouTube. We have other shit that we have to do to get our lives on track. We don't get money from YouTube. This isn't our job.
We just do this because we love doing it, and we want a nice, safe, enjoyable environment for people. And with other people like that, and other people like that who know said people like that aren't doing anything and addressing it and just letting it slide, and then people still support said people, don't come back at us when we quite literally said, told you so, but is what it is.
It makes it even worse when people get invited to, like, events from actual theme park people, like, you know, the people in charge. Like, I don't know everyone who runs a theme park, but let's say, like, if something happened at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, certain people would get invited to Blackpool Pleasure Beach by Amanda Thompson to vlog that day because it gives them publicity. And it's like, maybe do a bit of background first on people. When that is somebody's job, or when that is somebody's full-time income that they actually go to the parks to earn money and stuff.
Which, great. Good for you.
Good for you, yeah. Congratulations. Won't take it off. You've done the hard work and all the time and dedication, whatever, to do that. But that should install a thought in your mind that you need to 100% double check people before you allow them to be on your page, to be in your content, to be a part of your crew, or whatever it is, because they are not only costing you money, but potentially ruining your reputation and taking away some of your audience after the fact.
Apologies for the side rant, but I felt that was actually very
Was
important.
that even the question? Okay.
No. What's your least favourite attraction? I don't think I need to ask you this, but I feel like the people would like to know. Least favourite park and least favourite attraction. Or it can just be least
I don't really have like a least favourite park or a least favourite attraction per se.
Just do a Fraser and say Southport, even though you've never been.
Don't like Infusion because the last time I went on it, it hurt. It needs a lot of WD-40 or it needs retracking.
It needs
scrapping. Or scrapping because it's awful.
Horrible.
I mean, they've rethemed it now, but Darren Brown's Ghost Train from Fort Park was crap. It was absolutely crap. It weren't even worth queuing for. It's rubbish.
I don't think it's just a regular Ghost Train thing or something.
And then Towers. Rita, to be honest, from Towers. It's not really worth waiting for. It's just a fast roller coaster. It is fast, but it hurts a little bit.
Yeah, there is trains.
And it's just not worth. It's just like, there you go. Right, that's it. Like literally like a minute to go around the track very fast in an area that otherwise is very well themed, but for some reason Rita doesn't really fit in that section anywhere.
For a family theme park, Alton Towers have a very morbid fascination with dark themes of their attractions and rides, and it's a bit much. Don't get me wrong, I love the rides, but
I mean, I like it because I'm big into horror and stuff.
Yeah,
so...
but for a family theme park and like, oh, come down to these scary haunted woods and go on 13. Ooh, good. Come and get trapped and burnt by the Wicker Man. Come and get your mind bended by the Smiler. Come and drop into this endless cavern of oblivion. It's a bit dark and gloomy in parts, or a lot of the park.
All of it, really.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all edgy.
Yeah.
Apart from CBeebies Land. We went on Octonauts.
That was a good ride. That's a fun little ride, to be fair.
Another one I don't like at Alton Towers as well is Hex. Because it makes me feel a bit motion sick. It's weird. I don't get it. It confuses me. I understand how it works. It's just really, really weird. Not for me. Oh, and then Hero from Flamingo Land.
We don't talk about that.
One of the worst roller coasters in the UK.
Next question, you've ruined it. Why'd you have to mention it? Could have just moved on with the rest of our lives. Never mention Hero again. Favourite attractions at parks, Matt Cox?
Oh.
And And again, we can go from each park.
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, Wallace and Gromit at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is a given. Because I love Hardman. Yeah. Towers is tough because I've only been twice.
I don't think we've ever reridden out either.
No. Do you know what? It's one of my favourites. Spinball Wizard's quite underrated, actually. I don't mind it. I think it's quite good. Smiler's also up there as well. Just because it is a behemoth of a coaster, really. Mingoland, I mean, it's a very thin list, so probably Kumali. It was like the first proper, like,
Big
thrill coaster that I ever went on. Fort Park. All of them? Oh, no. Fort Park's got like 3, to be honest. Swarm, saw the ride, and...
yeah, I don't mind Swarm. Saw gets a lot of flack.
Saw's cool, but again, I really like horror, and Saw's one of my favourite horror franchises, so for me...
I liked The Walking Dead as well.
It's good. The Walking Dead, actually... Oh, this is going to be too long on the list now.
The list
Fort Park,
all of them.
Walking Dead, and I've never even watched Walking Dead, I just like it because it's cool. Walking Dead, Saw, Stealth, and Swarm.
Finally, the end is near. Where do you see yourself in the future? I know it's quite a deep question. Perhaps not as deep as you might think it is, but Fraser said he'd like to be on cruises and performing and on stage somewhere. Where do you see yourself for the future?
A very quick personal one is I just kind of hope that I'm in a job where I feel a bit fulfilled. That's kind of ultimately where I want to be, and just stable in life. Maybe at that point have my own house and stuff, and well, probably not a house in this economy, but a place of my own maybe, and just everything's stable, and you know, all the rest of it. Basically, I won't bore you with that. Bit of a spin of it on the channel. Hopefully, we're over 1,000 subscribers, which we're not far away from. So please subscribe and hit the post notification bell. Hopefully, like, Salou is gonna be big for the channel because it's the first time me and Bradley have ever been abroad together. Never mind doing something for a YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll have been to more places and done stuff, because I know we want to go to Energylandia, Liseberg, etc, etc, etc down the line. 1,000 subscribers even. 1,000 subscribers would hopefully be hit and surpassed by then.
With your guys' support, I believe we can truly do some wonderful things and get out some amazing places and put out the content that y'all deserve, and some trips that you'll enjoy and will enjoy, and just bring you along with us. So yeah, before we go, Trav, recommend someone who you would like to see on the FATcast. Can be as outlandish.
Do you know what? I am saying this partly because I want to see it, but also because, no offence to this person, might end up being a bit of torture for you. Amelie.
Well, there we go. I'm Mel. If you would like to join the FATcast, let us know. And again, comment below who y'all would like to see on the FATcast. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Much love. And thank you all so much for watching the FATcast here on the Flats and Tracks YouTube channel. He's been Trav. I've been Brad. And we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye. For now.
I bid you adieu.
Salute, baby. We're coming. More trips coming, don't you worry.
Yes,
Fat Boys on Tour 2025.
Bash.